Hello. Okay, so just in case you know someone that procrastinates a lot, please share this with them. Share some of the information you're going to hear today with them. And I believe it's really going to be of benefit to them. So let me share my screen so we can all interact with the slides. There you go. Okay, so there we are. I'm going to stop my video so we can have a better connection. I hope that's okay. So thank you for joining us. Welcome everyone. So you see, there is apologies, got knocked out again. Let me reshare the screen. Okay, so the gap between intention and action is what separates successful people from unsuccessful people. Successful people, like I said, they take action on their good intentions, while unsuccessful people just stick with their good intentions and expect things to happen over time. So we're going to define procrastination today. And defining procrastination is very simple. I hope you can all see my screen. So if you can see my screen, let me know. Iberi, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. Thank you. So we're going to define procrastination and see how we can, take action on some of those our good intentions that we always have. So let me, Iberi, I'm going to make you a co-host so you can help me add people. I hope that's okay. Let me see, just give me a moment. Let me make Iberi a co-host. All right. Okay, good. So for all those joining us now, you're welcome. Now is the new later. Now is the new later. The first time I came across the phrase "do it now" was from John C. Maxwell's book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. And when I came across that phrase, do it now. I started using it in my growth masterminds. So just to help us overcome procrastination. And in some of my classes, we will say, do it now 50 times before we begin the class. So do it now, do it now, do it now, do it now 50 times. So by the end, we are done with our 5 to 7 weeks program. It's ringing in your head. So do it now and do it now. And before we continue, I want all of us to say this. Say it to yourself, just say it on the count of 3. I want us to say, do it now. So 1, 2, 3.
Do it now.
Do it now. Good. Yes. So, and one thing we're going to do after the class, one of the assignments we'll have is to get into the habit of saying, do it now to ourselves as many times as possible during the day. So we're all guilty of procrastination at some point in our lives. All of us were guilty. We put off some tasks, some things that we don't like to do, maybe unpleasant tasks. We put them off until later. For me, it used to be working on my accounts. I don't like to do that. So I used to put it off until later. And then I found a way to get it done. But problems usually arise when procrastination begins to have a negative impact on our life's experiences and on our careers and our businesses. That's when we start becoming worried, when our results are not the results that we desire to see. We become really worried, and we associate that with procrastination. See, procrastination sometimes would look like laziness, right? It will look like, oh, I'm just feeling lazy. I don't want to do this thing. But it's not. It's not laziness. And sometimes it can take the form of industriousness. You're busy. You're really busy, but you're not productive. Now, I don't know if it's happened to you, but you have an important task to do. Maybe you haven't, it's so important, but you keep finding different things to occupy yourself and put that thing to later. During the pandemic, I saw it in the form of attending so many webinars, meetings, things that I felt, okay, I need this thing, I need this one. So many of them at the detriment
voice privacy contents have been updated.
Of what I needed to get done sometimes. So that was a problem. So right now, we're going to take a look at some of the signs of procrastination. And after that, we'll see how to overcome it, because there are telltale signs. There's no smoke without fire. And once we start seeing the smoke, we need to look at the fire and put it out. So what are some of the signs of procrastination? Let's look at them. Okay. Now, according to research, we've seen that about 20% of the population procrastinate. And not just procrastinate, they are chronic procrastinators. I know so many people who, they really wanted to be in this webinar today, but because they were pushing it until later, oh, I still have time, they didn't do it. Just to click on that button and register, they didn't do it. So most of the time, people who procrastinate a lot, that is chronic procrastinators, they suffer from things like broken marriages, lost their jobs, or lost businesses. For those of us doing business, especially some of us coaches and consultants, you're supposed to do a follow-up on a contract, you're supposed to do a follow-up, and you keep procrastinating. You don't get to do that follow-up until you lose that business. That happens a lot. Deflated dreams. deflated dreams. That you had that dream, but because of procrastination, that dream, you kept pushing it forward. Oh, I'm going to start tomorrow. I'm going to start in a week's time. I'm going to start in a month's time. I'm going to start next year. I know some of us, there are things we really desire to accomplish this year, but we kept pushing them forward and thinking, oh, let me just wait until COVID passes, this pandemic passes, then I'll start it. We pushed it forward and we're already close to December. This is year end. And you've seen some of those dreams you had, some of those things that you wanted to accomplish this year, they are left undone. And what's more, procrastination does not honor God. For those of us, people of faith, it's a dishonor to God to put things to later, the things that we're supposed to do now. So we don't honor God by doing that. How does it show? Procrastination, how does it show? You're always late. You're always late. Before you know it, time has gone and you're late. You're late to work, you're late to church, you're late to you're late to your business. And those who procrastinate a lot, they have difficulties coping with changes because it usually takes them by surprise. They know the change was coming, but they did not prepare for it because they felt they had more time. So before they know it, time has gone and it takes them by surprise. Okay, just give me a second. My dog is barking. Just give me a second. Okay, let's stop barking. So okay, just give me a moment. Let me call so that I can find out what he wants. All right, I'm so sorry. Okay, so I want us to do this before we continue. Just look at your watch. Maybe it's evening time. Maybe you're not wearing your watch right now, but if you look at your watch, there is no time there that says tomorrow. There's nothing. The clock has a way of ticking and ticking and ticking. Doesn't wait for anyone. Time doesn't wait for anyone. Well, we know that. We all know that. Okay, but still, we keep pushing things forward to tomorrow, till later. And when we procrastinate, most of the time we lost our way. We lost our way. We lose our way because the roadmap to getting to where you want to go to. Now, if you miss, just imagine you take a bus. You take a bus from, let's say, for those of us who live in Port Harcourt, let me just give, you take a bus from Artillery in Port Harcourt, it's a place in Port Harcourt, and you want to go to Mile 1. Now, if the bus will be going and you get to Mile 1, if you don't get off at Mile 1, the bus is going to continue. It's not going to, they're not going to say, oh, because you're not getting off at Mile 1, we wait for you to probably wake up, maybe you are asleep, then we can keep moving. No, no one is going to, if you don't get off at my one, the bus will continue and you will stay on the bus until the next stop. So you will miss your stop. The same thing, procrastination, we will miss our stops in life because of procrastination. We will miss some critical points in our lives because of procrastination if we don't stop it. And another thing that procrastinators have in common is a long to-do list. How long is your to-do list? The length of your to-do list will tell whether you're a procrastinator or not. Because if you have 10 items on your to-do list today, and maybe you ended up achieving just 2, what happens? You push up, you push over the 8 remaining items to tomorrow, thinking that, oh, I'm going to get them done tomorrow. But tomorrow, you're not going to get them done. And the list keeps growing. With tomorrow, you have 10 more items. You added the 8 from yesterday, from today, you added the 8. So that makes it 18 items on your to-do list. And we are so busy. Procrastinators are busy people. They're always busy. They have a lot of things to do. And those who procrastinate, they focus on essential things, you know, like checking your emails. You're checking your emails when you're not supposed to be checking your emails. You spend 2 hours scrolling through Instagram, Facebook, liking people's posts, laughing at jokes on WhatsApp. And before you know it, 2 hours gone and you were on social media. Who can relate? Who can relate with that? I know, you can raise your hand. Okay, yeah, Choma, yes, thank you. Thank you for being interested.
I can relate, but not all the time. So I'm wondering, is there anything like a partial procrastinator?
There are chronic procrastinators, what we call chronic procrastinators. But there's nothing like partial. Procrastination is procrastination. Well, and another thing, like we said in the beginning, everyone procrastinates at some point. You know, everyone, you know, pushes over in maybe non-interesting tasks that are probably not motivating to you. You push it to later, you know, and that's a challenge. And another thing, we procrastinate for different reasons. There are different reasons why we procrastinate. And all those reasons are valid. They are good excuses. My mentor, Paul Martinelli, he says something. He says, what is better than an excuse is a good excuse. So we all have good excuses for procrastinating. Okay, I see some hands raised. I'm going to look at the chat room in a bit. Let's get through some of the slides, and then we'll discuss and take some questions towards the end. Okay, I hope that's fine. But you can interrupt sometimes when I ask for, you know, for contributions along the way, maybe like questions or raise hands and all that. So we all procrastinate, and we all have good reasons for procrastinating. I mean, you've been late before, right? And you had a reason for being late. Probably there was traffic, there was serious traffic, right? That's a reason. So let's look at back to the sign. So there are different reasons why we procrastinate. Let's look at some of them. Perfectionism. Okay, we want it to be perfect. We want to get it right. Cross all the T's, dot all the I's. Oh, it has to be the best possible. It is my dream, it is my vision. There's nothing more than the best. You know, the plague of perfectionism keeps us from starting, from taking action on our dreams most of the times. You're someone, you want things to be orderly. It has to be in a certain way. And it feels good. You feel good when it is that way. But it leads you to push over starting other things because you want everything to be perfect. So perfectionism can often be confused with high standards. My standards are high. Yes, your standards are high. But it could also lead you to this plague of perfectionism, which will ultimately lead you to procrastinating. There's a mantra I learned from one of my mentors, Melissa. And Melissa, she always tells us, done is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect. Take action, start doing it. And over time, you would get good. Okay. You don't just get good the first time. You get good as you make progress. So we all need to learn that getting good is not a day's job. It's a process. So when we understand that, we know that, okay, I may not get it perfectly the first time, but I will get good as I keep doing it. So this is one of the reasons why we procrastinate. We want it to be perfect. And the second reason is fear. And I'm going to talk about two types of fear. The fear of failure and the fear of success. The fear of failure and the fear of success. Fear is a deeply rooted cause of procrastination for most people. And for us, we need to identify, you can put it in the chat. Which one is greater for you? Is it the fear of failure or the fear of success? For some people, failure can be very devastating. And it always stems from the view that their results, their final results is what is going, it has to be, it's also linked to perfectionism in a way. If I don't get it right, people will laugh at me. It will affect my ego. There will be a stain on my reputation. Maybe I am skilled at this particular thing. I'm a great speaker, but I just, something happened and I didn't prepare properly and my presentation didn't come out the way I wanted to. Maybe in your place of work, right? You didn't get, the project you were working on didn't come out with the results you intended. And you start feeling bad. Oh, what will people think of me? I'm supposed to be an expert. So that fear of people's expectations, the fear of what others will think of us, the fear of losing our self-esteem can cause us to procrastinate. And the flip side is a fear of success. Now, success comes with lots of responsibility. Now, there was a time when this was a big fear for me, the fear of success. Because with success, people look up to you. You have to be an example. And you have to live and work in a certain way. And some people are afraid of that. For me, that was a fear. And one of the reasons why I was afraid of success was because I felt that it was going to take away some of my family time. And I kept giving excuses. No, I can't travel out of the country for work, out of state for work because of my family. I don't want to leave my kids. Yes, my kids are still young and all that. Yes, those are valid fears. But then I missed so many opportunities because of that. Until one day, my husband told me that, look, you don't have to keep passing up opportunities because of us. We can handle it. It will be for a few days. You go and come back. So don't worry. And that gave me the encouragement I needed to start taking up, some assignments out of River State and out of Nigeria. That helped me to conquer that fear of success, because there is always a way out. Fear, we all know, or some of us know, it's an acronym. Some of us define it as false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. And sometimes it is unconscious. We don't even know we have it until we sit back and evaluate ourselves. We sit back and really take stock of our lives and our current realities. Then we can identify which fear is holding us back. During the last Live to Lead, the last Live to Lead broadcast that we did, one of the speakers, Kat Cole, she defines fail as first attempt in learning. First attempt in learning. So perhaps you're afraid of failure and that causes you to procrastinate. Just allow failure to be a learning opportunity for you. Like Kat Cole defines fail, first attempt in learning. That's the first time. You're never good the first time, John Maxwell says. And he goes on to say that if you think you are good the first time, then you probably are on drugs. No one is ever good the first time. The second time is going to be much better. So let's not allow fear to rob us. The second is, which number is it? Third? Okay, lack of motivation. Lack of motivation. I'm not motivated. We're looking for something to inspire us to get started. Motivation sometimes can be related to our expectations. We're expecting something good to come out of this, which is really great. So we want to feel good before we start. It's often unrealistic because most often you cannot feel your way into taking action. No, you have to act. Then the feeling will catch up with you. So feeling comes after action, not before action. If you keep waiting to feel like doing it, like for me, I kept waiting to feel like doing my accounting. And of course, that led me to so many pitfalls. So you can't wait until you feel like doing it before you do it. You feel like writing that proposal. Oh, I don't feel like writing the proposal right now. No, I don't feel like making that call right now. No, I don't feel like doing it. Maybe I should just watch some TV first. Then I'll get to it. The clock is ticking. And sometimes this lack of motivation can show up in the form of soliciting other people's opinion. You want to do a task. You know what you need to do, but you're going to friend A, colleague B, to seek their opinion. Oh, should I do it? Do you think I should do it now? Do you think it's the right time to start this business? Maybe I should wait until next year when the economy stabilizes. What do you think? No, we are soliciting their opinion, and if it's in our favor, maybe it validates what we have already told ourselves. Because probably you've already told yourself that, maybe I think I should wait until next year to start that program. And then you go and you solicit an opinion from someone that you like and you trust, and the person validates it and says, oh, I think you should start next year. Next year seems to be a better time. That validates what you already feel, and you go your way happy and you push it until later. Lack of interest. That's another one. I'm not interested. We delay tasks that are not very appealing. It's not appealing to us. But whatever we put off to do until later, especially if it's something that only you can do, you still have to get that thing done. Now, I used to tell my son, because he wants to play games and watch TV at the time when he's supposed to be doing his work. Schools resume today. So when we're doing virtual school, he wants to take breaks. When he does one subject, he finishes one subject, he wants to take a break and go and watch TV or play games. And I'll tell him, if you do that, the work you're supposed to do, you still need to get that work done. So no matter what you do, you still have to do that work today. So if you're watching TV now, you're playing now, you're going to work later. So it's about paying the price right now, and get that thing done, or playing right now and still pay that price later. So you need to choose and balance it up. It's interesting. The paperwork is not interesting. Writing proposals, writing letters, it's not really interesting for some people. But you can't be pushing it until later. That proposal needs to go out. I mean, personally, I've missed opportunities because I did not submit the proposal on time. That can be damaging, to your self-esteem. When you call like, oh, it's late, you've missed the deadline, just because we're pushing it until later. Oh, distractions. Oh, right now in this era, the era of the internet, social media, Netflix, DSTV. The new one in my house is Amazon Prime. My kids just discovered that I have Amazon Prime membership. And they have all these cool videos that they were looking for in Netflix. They found it in Prime. And it was just an amazing discovery. We're all faced with these modern day distractions. All of us. It's interesting. I mean, it's interesting, all this. We want to take a break. We've been working, let me just watch some TV. Let me play games. For those of us who play games, PS4, right now the new one is PS5. The world is at our fingertips. There are no more boundaries. The world is without borders. Right now, it's a world without borders. So all these things can keep us distracted. It can keep us really busy. I heard Les Brown called it weapons of mass distraction. Weapons of mass distraction. That's what he called this. So we have all these weapons of mass distraction at our fingertips that we need to control, we need to manage so that we can get our results in, the results that we desire, and not allow it to cause us to procrastinate. Now, what do? We need to change our mindset. Change our mindset. Yes, procrastination is real, but we can change our mindset. If your tendency is perfectionism, you may consider changing that mindset. Remember, my mantra, someone's mic is not muted. Can you mute? Can we all mute ourselves, please? So that fear of making mistakes keeps us crippled. So we can change that mindset, overcome this bad habits of procrastinating, of wanting everything to be perfect. Perfectionism, it's sometimes it even upsets the natural order of things. If you look at it, it upsets the natural order of the world, because nothing is, we're in a process. Everything is in a process. But if we think that, okay, it has to be really good, really great, really right, That means we're stopping that process from happening. A caterpillar is nothing to write home about. I mean, it starts from like a maggot, right? Then it turns to something like a caterpillar. In fact, when you think about a maggot, that egg, that larva, the larva is something, it's creepy and it's crawling. It's just, no one likes that larva, the maggot, and then it turns to another thing called the caterpillar. And that's another creepy, crawly thing. Then before you know it, it starts spinning its cocoon. And then before you know it, it turns into a butterfly. So if we observe that a butterfly does not just, it's not born a butterfly. It takes time, it takes a process. Can we mute ourselves, please? Can we all mute ourselves, please? So the butterfly doesn't start as a butterfly. It starts as a larva, and then it turns to a butterfly later. Okay. So we need to change that mindset. Face the fear. Face the fear. Fear of failure, face it. Do it afraid. That's one of the mantras my mentor, Paul Martinelli, says to us. You need to learn to do it afraid. Do it in spite of the fear. Whether you fear a negative outcome or you fear failure, just go ahead and do it in spite of it. There's a word I learned from one of the speakers at one of our Live to Lead events. When I heard that word, it made so much sense. And maybe some of us know it. It's called catastrophizing. So catastrophizing means that we are focusing on all the things that could go wrong. Our minds are fixed on things not being right. Let's say your boss calls you into a meeting and says, okay, let me use Choma as an example. Choma, I'd like to meet with you tomorrow at 10 a.m. And what starts running through Choma's mind? Oh, that project I didn't get it right. Oh, I think they want to reprimand me. Maybe they'll give me a warning letter. You start thinking of all the things that could go wrong. Oh, maybe he's not happy with my work. Maybe he wants to tell me, he wants to give me something difficult to do. We are catastrophizing all the things that can go wrong. Ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? What's this fear? What is the worst thing that can happen? What is really the worst thing that can happen? And then think of all the things that can go right. Instead of focusing on all the things that could go wrong, focus on all the things that can go right. And then also focus on, your feeling, how you will feel when everything goes right. So that will take away the fear. So literally, the way I do this process, facing my fears, I literally talk to myself. I face myself squarely and I counter that fear. I tell myself, Kate, you can do it. You're made for a time as this. You've been prepared for this. You're equipped for this. You know it. And then sometimes I'll start recounting my past successes, similar things I have done, and I'll tell myself, you've done something like this before. In fact, you've done greater things than this. And it turned out great. So there's nothing to be afraid of. And of course, it's a first attempt in learning. So whatever the outcome is, you're going to learn. Next, list it out. List it out. Yes, I know we talked about a to-do list. Procrastinators, your to-do list is always growing. It's growing and growing and growing. Yes, you have so many things to do. You're so busy. You can have a to-do list, that's fine. You can. But let it not stop at a list. Put definite time frames when you want to accomplish certain tasks. Let there be deadlines. Set deadlines for yourself. Deadlines will help you build a sense of momentum. And there's something else I do. I have something I call my daily commitments. My daily commitments is sort of like a list, but these are commitments in the different areas of my life, in my faith, my health, my family, my finances, my business, and my personal development. So I have things that I have decided that these are the things that I want to do every single day. And I'm committed to accomplishing those things. So I set those things and I set it out and I do them. I've been doing it, and right now it's like autopilot. I do some of those things now on autopilot because I'm already used to it. Those are my commitments, my daily commitments. And one of them is like reading one chapter of a book a day. It comes to my personal development. When it comes to my family, one of my commitments, my daily commitments, is having a meaningful conversation with my husband every single day. That's one of my daily commitments. So I do to-do list, but not so often. I focus more on my commitments, my daily commitments, because they are in line with my purpose, which is really something I want to focus on, my purpose. Next, take baby steps. Take baby steps. You have a book to read. You can read one page a day or one chapter a day. So just take those small steps. By the time you start taking those small steps, and then you achieve some successes along the way, you feel motivated and inspired to continue. How do you bring down a mountain? You bring down a mountain by crushing it into smaller pieces. It's a big goal, but you can break it down into smaller pieces and start working on it. So it doesn't matter whether you use a hammer or dynamite to bring down a mountain. The important thing is you have to crush it. You have to break it into smaller pieces to bring it down. So whatever task you have to accomplish, if it's a daunting task, maybe it's big, find a way to break it down into smaller pieces. Take baby steps. Once you keep taking baby steps, you'll be inspired to take more steps, little steps. And when you start taking small steps, it compounds and you get the work done. Remove distractions. Remove distractions. This is a big one. Remove distractions. What do? You can keep your phone on silent or on vibrate. I do that. My phone is always on vibrate because notifications, when notifications come in during the day, it distracts me. So I keep my phone on silent or on vibrate so that I don't get distracted by notifications. By missed calls, I will call back. Delete games and apps from your phone. I know there was a time I had to delete Facebook. I had to delete Facebook from my phone because it was a distraction for me at that time. So I removed the app. There was a time I removed WhatsApp because that was a distraction to me at that time. So you can do this, take some time and record distractions. What are those things that distract you? List them and see how you can eliminate some of them intentionally. Of course, put the big rocks in first. So tackle the big stuff first, the hard stuff. Let them start. Start with the hard stuff. Start with your toughest task. When you put the big rocks in first, then the smaller rocks can go in. Then you can put in some sand. Then you can put in some water. Then you can fill the jar. So always start with the big task. Once you complete the big part of your day first, then you can start working on the smaller one. And that will help you increase your productivity. And of course, increase your motivation. The 2-minute rule. The 2-minute rule, very important. I like the 2-minute rule. There's another rule called the 5-minute rule. But the 2-minute rule says that just think of doing that particular thing for only 2 minutes, 120 seconds. For example, you have to read a book. Imagine reading that book for 2 minutes a day. If you take 2 minutes to read every day, what happens? It compounds. If you take 2 minutes to study every day, within a week, it will compound. So imagine yourself taking small steps at a time, doing smaller things at a time. If you read 2 minutes in the morning, you read 2 minutes in the afternoon, you read 2 minutes in the evening, you may end up reading 2 chapters a day. Right, so the 2-minute rule works. And the 5-second rule, the 5-second rule is something I learned from Mel Robbins. Mel Robbins, she is a personal development and speaker, motivational speaker, personal development expert, and author. So the 5-second rule, feel like maybe you don't want to do something, you just count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you do it. You get up and do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, get up and do it. So 5 seconds, get yourself off the couch and do it. So that's the 5-second rule. There's a video on that, a talk that Mel Robbins gave on that. I'm going to share it with us. I'll send us emails after this session. I'm going to send emails with some resources that we can use. We can read further, we can watch videos, but to keep working on this aspect of our lives. Let's hold yourself accountable. Hold yourself accountable. Accountability is key. This is a big one. Find someone that can help you with accountability. Who can help you with accountability? Find that person and let the person hold you accountable. Have someone you can always share, what you're doing with. Yes, you can create your to-do list. That may be enough for some people, but if you don't have anybody holding you accountable to do that, it will be difficult if you're a chronic procrastinator. So if you're a chronic procrastinator, find a buddy, a friend that can help you. But please, let it not be a chronic procrastinator as well. That is going to be a recipe for disaster, right? So find someone that can hold you accountable. It could be a friend, it could be a colleague, it could be your spouse. Those are great accountability partners that you can have, right? So let's have that accountability. I have a program starting in January, Thinking an Accountability Partner program, where I'm inviting a few people, to work one-on-one with me, and I'll hold them accountable for their dreams, for their goals, and make sure that they accomplish them. So that program starts in January. It's going to be intense. It's a high-level program, and I'm only taking 5 people. I can only work with 5 people in that program. So I'll send details about that. But if you're interested, you can boss me, you can send me an email. Maybe you have big goals, big dreams to achieve, and you need accountability. Yes, I can hold you accountable. No more excuses. No more excuses. We are all prone to procrastination. We are all prone to it. Even the most successful people, the successful person that you're looking up to, your mentor that you're looking up to, maybe your coach, they are also prone to procrastination at one point. How you handle it is very, very important. It's up to you to determine whether procrastination will become a habit that will get in your way in the way of accomplishing your goals, or whether you're going to crush it, whether you're going to, kill your excuses. Remember, what's better than an excuse? It's a good excuse. So we can come up with all these creative reasons, all these good excuses, why we're not doing it. It is very essential that we take out time to examine your excuses. Once we examine our excuses, then we will see that we can overcome them, because you will notice that that is actually an excuse. That's something that is stopping you from achieving your goal. And there's also a name that we call it. We call it a bogus story. It could be a bogus story. A bogus story is a story that you keep telling yourself and you've started believing it. Why you cannot achieve your goals, why you cannot live your purpose, why you cannot accomplish the things that you need to accomplish. All those stories. Yes. So right now, let's do a bit of practice. I want us to share in the chat. You can share one task that you have been putting off and what is your plan for getting it started. You can share it in the chat, and we can also speak up. Maybe one or two people can speak up if you want to share it openly. And that's another thing. When you put it out there, that's the beginning of accountability. So you want to share with us, you're welcome. What is one task that you have been putting off? And what is your plan after today to get it started? I'm going to count to 5, and then I will call names. Okay, let me see in the chat. Oh, I see. Okay, so starting a children's club. Okay. Writing a book and working on my newsletter. Good. Yes, so what is one thing that you're going to do after today to get it started? Jessica, completing my master's degree, preparation of my business 2021 budget. Yes. So one thing. So what is one thing you're going to do to get started? Let's hold you accountable. Angelica, tell us.
Oh my goodness. I really don't know how to go about this, my book writing. I've written out like the different chapters. I really just don't know what to do about getting it done. And the same with the newsletters. It's more like something to inspire people. And I have them written down here and there, not like when you were talking about people, fear of, okay, how would I put this fear? Like perfection is kind of like not dotting the T's well, not getting to do it the way I see it in my mind, like having to bring it out like that. So I keep saying, let me wait, let me wait, let me wait. And I've been waiting and I've been waiting. So you're going to help me to know how to get it done. I really don't know at this point. Because if it's writing, I've written some parts of it. Like I have I've been inspired to like have 3 different books. One, I said I was going to get it published before by December to launch it. But somehow I started and I stopped, and other engagements so I just left the book writing and continues with other things. So I
Yeah.
really okay. So I just need your help.
Other very important things. Okay, yeah, we can work together on that. Yeah, after now, if you want, yes, we can work together on that. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm, okay, that's good.
Thank you.
Right. So I see in the chat, I'll break it down to tasks that can be assigned to some of my staff and myself. That's fantastic. That's another way, delegating some stuff, you know. John Maxwell says if there's something that can be done 80%, that someone can do, something that maybe that's the task that you do, and there's a member of your staff or someone around you can do it up to 80%, then you have no business doing that particular thing. You need to delegate it to them, let them do it. So delegation is an important part of it, especially for those of us business owners, MD, CEOs, you know, maybe ministers, pastors. We don't delegate. And you find out that at the end of the day, you're so tired, you're burnt out because you're doing most of the work yourself. Meanwhile, there are people that you can delegate. There is a way to delegating. There's a way to delegating. And if you do it right, it's always done. I mean, we really get the results out of it if we delegate right. Most often is really delegating it right. Because when we don't delegate right, we don't set appropriate measures. You know, the goal is not very clear. And maybe we don't even understand the skill set of the person we are delegating to. Those things can hinder the results from being achieved. So there's a way to delegate right and ensure that things are done properly. That's good. Yeah, Jessica says, the first thing is to put it in my calendar and give it a deadline when to start and finish. Oh, the first thing is to put it in your calendar. That is so good. That's perfect. That's perfect. I would recommend you get an accountability partner, someone to hold you accountable for that as well. Great. So let's do. So we are putting this into practice. So now we can accomplish more. We can accomplish more because when we don't do things because we feel like doing it, we take action not because we are feeling like it, we can accomplish more. Okay, so we don't allow our emotions to influence our motivations. Don't allow our feelings to influence our motivation, to inspire us because we're not feeling this, that is unpleasant. I don't feel like doing it now. I can do something else. So we can always accomplish more. So I'm going to send us additional resources, you know, things that videos to watch and things we can read further to help us to overcome this procrastination. I believe that we can overcome. I believe that we can get better because we have it in us. We have it in us. So great job. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Success is within our reach. It's truly within our reach. And if you want to work one-on-one with me, if you want to work one-on-one with me, you can indicate, you can send me a message. I'm going to send us emails after now. So if you like to work one-on-one with me, you want to join my thinking and accountability partner program, you can join the program. It starts in January. Like I mentioned, I'm only taking 5 people into that program so that I can really invest time, energy, and resources into them. Okay. Thank you very much. Let me stop the video. So if we have questions, we can take the questions right now. I'm going to stop the screen share. Oh, I went back. So thank you. I'll stop the screen share now. So if we have questions, I can take the questions. contributions. We can take the contributions. So let me see. Let me check the chat. No more audio. Oh, can you hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
I can.
I can
Oh,
hear you.
okay. Okay, I'm saying no more audio. Oh,
Yes, I can.
all right. Thank you. So is there any question? Can take a question. Questions, contributions. Let's, yeah, Jessica, your hand is raised.
Okay, ma. Yes, ma. When you talked about my question, is about a lack of motivation, lack of interest. So when
Yeah.
you talked about it, so and I know that I have this. It's one of the challenge that oftentimes, like personally, I want to do something, and before
Yeah.
you know it, something will just distract me, and I will be very busy. But the main
Yeah.
tasks I want to achieve, I find myself not doing it. So, my question is this: at one point, can one actually have break? Like, okay, defining it, like the brain need to, like, maybe you're studying, you're reading, and you're doing some certain things, you just want to rest. At what point can someone really actually have that break and say, okay, this is the time? And how can one discipline to achieve these goals? Like, how can I really discipline my mind in order to achieve a set target or a set goal? How do I discipline, knowing that all the things you have listed out, yes, but how, I don't know how to put it, like, especially on the distraction. Yes, ma. So how do I differentiate between when I'm being distracted or when I actually need to rest? I said, okay, fine, this is the time for me to rest. So that's my question, ma.
Okay, so what do you define as rest? What's rest to you? What do you do when you're resting?
Okay, what I normally do when I'm resting is I just be on myself. I'm not a TV person. I really don't watch much of TV, but I can just sit at a place. But while I'm sitting at a place, maybe trying to rest my brain or calm down or just think. But at the same time, I have this thing in mind, like, oh, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your time. So I find it difficult to really differentiate between rest and, do you understand, ma?
Wasting your time. Okay.
Exactly.
Rest is necessary. Like one of my daily commitments, which is part of my health goals, is to take a 30-minute nap every day. That's one of my daily commitments to myself. So that's rest for me. You know, growing up, I didn't know how to take naps, but I realized that rest is important. So I had to intentionally set aside rest times for me. So sometimes I may not sleep during that period. I will just lie on my bed or on the couch and just close my eyes and relax and try to clear my brain, not think of work at that time. The most important thing is set time frames. If you're resting, let it be for a specific time. Don't say I'm resting, and the resting will go into 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. You're resting. You know, set that time frame as a period, a resting period, and then you can set your alarm. Like I do, I set my alarm so that when my alarm goes off, I know it's time. I use my calendar and my alarm clock a lot because that is something is on my calendar, but sometimes we get carried away. So use your alarm clock. I know almost all smartphones have alarm clocks. So use that alarm clock to help you get back on track. So when you're resting, set your alarm clock for your resting period. You could even do that for things like social media too. Set your alarm clock. You want to be on social media for 30 minutes, 15 minutes, set your alarm so that when the alarm goes off, you know it's time to move on to the next thing.
Okay, thank you, ma.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
Right.
ma.
You're welcome. So is there any other question, contributions? Or you want me to talk? There's something you want me to just talk about again, to just explain a little bit more? All right. Thank you so much for being on the call today. I appreciate you for taking out time, to join us. I'm going to send us emails with additional resources, on what you need to do to work on this. If you have questions, you can send me the questions privately and I'll answer the questions as well. So I appreciate you. Good evening, everyone. And
thank you so much.
Thank you, Angie. Thank you for being on the call.
Thank you, ma.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah.
All right. Have a good night,
Thank you,
everyone.
ma.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you. Thank you too. Oh, and Jessica, I forgot to mention that our December Leaders Priority is on. The topic is conquering your goals. Conquering your goals. So if that's something that you're also struggling with, you can join us next month, December 3rd, and we'll talk about that as well.
Okay, ma.
All
Thank
right.
you, ma. Sure will.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, ma.
Thank you
Thank you,
so
ma.
much.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you.